Deborah Bucher with Deborah Bucher Designs. I'm also the owner and designer of Deborah Bucher Designs, and that's a line of decoupage tissue. And one of the tissues that we're using today is one of the Easter tissues that I designed. Let me see if I can get it. So there's actually 8 designs on this page. And there we go. This bunny is one of my favorites. I did a larger version of him on a wall plaque probably a month ago. It's one of my favorite things. And this is the other side of it. Like I said, there's 8 designs on this one tissue. So you can get a lot of use out of it. And you've got this cute border on here that you could actually use on one of these books that I'm doing today. And so if you're interested in this decoupage tissue, hi Tammy, how are you? If you're interested in those tissues, they are on my website, and you can, and that's in the link in the description, and you can go by and place an order for them, and I ship out almost every single day. So I'm going to go ahead and put the camera down, and we're going to get started on this. We got a lot to get done, and I'm excited about it. This is where we left off yesterday, and I was watching a video with, actually it was a live by Summer Hammond. I don't know if you guys follow her or not, but if you don't, you really should. She is just amazing. I mean, the creativity that comes out of her, it's just like, it just flows. It never ever stops. And I was watching her video, and she was doing an Easter book. Hers had a bunny on it. And I told her I had just started one yesterday. And in her book, somebody had suggested that she put the metal corner binders on. And I was like, oh, that's such a great idea. And I have some. But the ones that I have are, they're actually corners that go on a box, like a wooden box or like a cigar box, because they're deep. They have a deep edge on them. So they're not going to work for this book, but I can order them off of Etsy to fit this book. But this gives us an idea of what they would look like, and I love them. So I'm definitely going to order some off of Etsy. I'll check Etsy and I'll check Amazon. But I started to look at Etsy before we went live, and they had a bunch. But I looked at the clock, and it was like, good Lord, I'm supposed to be signed in. So what we're going to do next is, yesterday we did the form flex for the book binding, and I was going to glue it on, but I decided I didn't have enough time for it to really set, and I wanted to be able to do this part of the book. So we'll do that at the end. Is using the Pentart 2-part Crackle, because I love Crackle. Love Crackle. And this is the only product, there could be others, but this is the only product that I'm aware of that you can use on top of decoupage. The Dixie Belle Crackle is a crackle that goes between 2 layers of paint, and so you couldn't do it on top of decoupage. So when I discovered this one, I was like, sign me up. I'm doing part 1. I was picking up my order, and I'm like, good grief, I wonder if they could make this box any heavier. Okay, so I've used this a few times, but in case you've not seen me use it before, this is a two-step crackle, and I love crackle. Just love it. And so we've just put on step one, and you just put on one coat and then you let it dry. There we go. There we go. So it has a really pretty binder, and then I use, for the corner things, I use a mold for that. But for this book, I really want the metal ones. And then I did Harlequin on the back. And this color is drop cloth on this book too. And so this book is going to be similar in the fact that, and I'll paint the pages gold. Did I show you the gold pages? The pages turned out really, really pretty. So I'm doing this book in a similar fashion. So can you see that this, as this is drying, it's getting a shiny porcelain-like finish to it. So pretty. I love, love the finish. Okay, so the next step, and you can see how easy this is. The next step, I'm using the part 2, and it's kind of a golden color. Don't freak out. It doesn't turn your book a color. Okay, so you just put on one coat of this. Do you guys remember seeing this on the bunny about a month ago? The bunny plaque? I picked up some more of those plaques from Walmart. I love that plaque. When I get this coat on, I'll go get that plaque and show you guys. So I do not sell Pentart. I believe you can get it on Etsy. Well, I know for a fact you can get it on Etsy. And L&J Goods also is a retailer for Pentart. Okay, so it just takes one coat, and that's that. It's super easy. I'm going to let that sit and dry for a minute, but while it's doing that, I'm going to go grab that plaque. So I know there's a glare on here from my ring light, but this is, let me see if I can turn this. That's better. So you can see the crackle on there. It's a really fine crackle. And then I rubbed bronze gilding wax in it so that it would show up. But you can make it darker, you can pick a different color, make it lighter. But I think this is the way it's supposed to be. But I thought this was a really neat piece because you can use it both ways. You could put a design on this side and a design on this side. So Let me see if I still have that decoupage tissue handy. So I did get some more at Walmart. This is what they look like when there's nothing on them. This is another one of my new designs from the new release. And I want to do this bee on one of those plaques. This one has 2 rabbits and 2 bees. So this is not the same rabbit. This is a similar rabbit, but not the same. Has pretty, so it is different. And then there's 2 bees. There's 2 bees and 2 bunnies. So here's one bee. I don't know which one I'll put on. And here's the other bee. So this tissue has 4 designs on it, where the one that we're working on today has 8 designs on one tissue. And those tissues are all up on the website. Okay, so let me get the dryer and get this drying. I do have a ruler here. Let's see if it even says on here. Yeah, it does. It says it's 12 by 12 by 75. Let me hold this. 12 by 12 by 75. And then the picture they made at a clock. I mean, there's a lot of things you could do with this. But it's a really nice quality wood. It's all ready to paint. I mean, it's really a very nice quality. And honestly, I can't remember what I paid. I want to say maybe close to $6 for it. But to me, it's a great piece. So versatile. Excuse me. So many things you could do with it. And I think this side is super pretty. Let's see, when they did the clock, they did it on this side. But when I picked this up at the grocery store, I was drawn to this side of it. I thought, oh, that's so pretty. It's already all framed in. And then when I decided to do my bunny, I decided to do him on this side. But then I had to figure out how to frame him in because he was looking too lost on there without being framed in. So I just framed him in with a stamp. It was a long stamp. I just used like a portion and did a section at a time on it. So this gets real shiny. It looks like, this is so pretty. Out of all the finishes, you guys, this is like my favorite finish. And when I ordered, I think I can turn this off now. When I ordered the Pentart the first time, this is the first one I got. And after I used it one time, then I ordered the bigger size, which I haven't even opened yet. This is it's in milliliters, which means nothing to me. So this is 100 milliliters each bottle, and this is 230. Because I just love it. If I could order it by the gallon, I would. If you can tell, this cabinet behind me is Crackle also. But this is the Dixie Belle Crackle, and you can't use this on top of decoupage because it has to be paint on top of paint. So while that was drying, I can see it's starting to crackle. And can you see that finish? How it has a shine, a gloss to it. Hi, Jerry. So it's ready for us to put the bronze on. And you can use any color. You could use gold, which, you know, with gold pages, that would be pretty. Let me see what that would look like on here with the gold. There's the bronze. You know what? I think I told you the wrong thing when I said I used Dixie Belle's Gold Digger for the gold on that book. I think I told you the wrong thing. Now that I'm digging through my stuff, I'm pretty sure I used Posh Pigment. This is made by WoodUbend, and I did it in the Byzantine gold, which is a really pretty gold. I'm pretty sure that's the gold I used on that book. So I told you the wrong thing. So my favorite go-to colors are for gilding wax are gold, copper, bronze, and silver. Those are the ones I use the most. So there's gold and bronze. I love copper too. So let's see, where's my little screwdriver? If you guys tuned in late, I thought this would make such a pretty bookmark on the inside of this book. Okay, so here's the gold. I'll rub a spot with the gold and see what you guys like. So I like to just, on this process, I like to just put the gold on my fingers and just rub it into the cracks. So you can see I've used a lot of it, but one of these cans will last you years. So you just want to massage it into the crack. And then take a paper towel and wipe it back. And there's a spot there that I missed getting. Oh, and there's a spot there that's not dry. So let me get it dry. Okay. So I don't particularly, it's up here in this corner. I don't think the gold shows up enough. So I'm going to go back to my tried and true bronze. And some people might think that the bronze is too dark. So I think you just have to do what makes you happy. This just makes it look, to me, old and antiqued. And you just want to do a section at a time. I'm going to see if I can bring the camera down closer. Hold on. So you can see up here where I've rubbed it into the cracks. So you just want to do a small section at a time and then buff it back. And it gives it that old world porcelain cracked china look to it. I had some nice choices on that decoupage sheet to choose from. And I specifically wanted this to be Easter. All of those designs on that page are Easter oriented, but you know, the lamb is, Jesus was the lamb. So that's why I chose this one. And I do think he's sweet too. And another thing about this, you guys, is it's going to keep crackling. So right now, rubbing it on, I can see quite a bit of space between my cracks, but I know that as this sits overnight, those cracks are more cracks are going to appear. So, you know, you can either leave it that way or you can go back and I'm just looking to see. I can see cracks that are on here that cracked after I did the process I'm doing now. You have to look really hard for them, but I did not go back afterwards. So, and I am kind of rushing the process here so that you guys can see what the process is and what happens and what to expect and all of that. So you could put your second coat of medium on, that's the coat that causes the cracking, and let it sit overnight, and then go back and put your gilding wax on the next day. So there's a spot there that I didn't get that second coat on right there in here, probably because there's a lot of glare from the light on here, and this was shiny and it wasn't easy for me to see. So if you're doing this at home, that probably won't happen to you. I could try and put that coat back on top of that and see if that will make a difference. I don't know if it will, but it would be a good experiment. Now, I know some people think the bronze is too dark, and you know, if you feel that way, then maybe the gold is a better choice, or maybe the silver. So I have him pretty much covered. I am going to see if this spot doesn't bother me. This one right on top of his sweet little head does bother me. So I'm going to see if I put a little bit more of this on, if that will make any difference. It doesn't look like it. He's pretty perfect except for that spot right there. I might just try and touch it up with the drop cloth. Oh, thanks for the hearts, you guys. After the live, I might go back with a drop cloth and see if I can just touch up that little spot. So I can either put that on now and let it glue on, or I can paint the pages gold. Which would you guys rather see? So this is, like I said, this is Byzantine gold, and there's like 3 different golds. And you can either order the, what do they call it? Pigment infuser is what they call it. This works great. You can decoupage with this also. And that's from WoodUbend. And I do carry that. Or you can use the Posh Pigment and use the Dixie Belle Satin Top Coat, and that's what I decoupage with. So, you know, whatever you want to do. And I just take a small amount. I just mix a small amount at a time. If I have some left over, then if you have some left over, then I just cap it up. So I'm just adding a small amount at a time. I have a really pretty window that I did several years ago. It was a glass framed, old framed window, and I made a shelf for it, put it on corbels. It's one of my favorite pieces. There's hooks on it. It's hanging in my guest room. Melissa has stayed there many times. She can attest to how pretty it is. And I have a stack of books that I've done, including that one I showed you for Christmas, because when that book is in a stack and not standing straight up, all you see is that beautiful ornate binding on it. And so those stacks of books have really pretty bindings. And so when this book isn't being used, you know, like if it's not out on a coffee table or displayed wherever you choose to display it, then just put your books in a stack of books and you have those beautiful bindings on there. And you're still displaying a beautiful piece. So, okay, so pages. Kind of lost what I was doing here. So with the book closed, and I'm going to take the drop cloth and paint over this name. I did that on the other book that I showed you, and it covered up really well. Okay, now I think we've got it. So just hold your pages firmly together like that. And then just take your brush and just brush that gold on. And this is such a beautiful gold. Can you guys see that? On camera, it looks like it's like I can see up there. I'm just at a bad angle. A bad angle for me. See, I keep going up over these pages. On the camera, it looks like they're spotty, but in person, they look like they're painted well. But I think painting your pages the pretty gold like this, or you could do silver. The Posh Pigment comes in a lot of different colors. So like if you were doing a spring book, like with birds or something, and you wanted like a violet, there's a really pretty purple color. And what a nice gift this would make. You know, and it's inexpensive because you get lots of designs on your decoupage tissue. I think the tissue is $8 on my website. And so some of them, you know, some of them have 10 or 12 designs on them. I did a lot for Easter. I was on a roll, you guys. this would be a really cool thing to do. Okay, so I can see in the camera, that looks really terrible. But when I'm looking at it, it looks super pretty. So I don't know what to tell you guys. Let me change my angle because it could just be the light. So there are spotty places on here when I change the angle. Okay, I think that looks a little better. And I'll let it dry. And I can always go back and give it another coat. And you do need to keep those pages firmly together. Okay, I'm going to let this one be and say that it's good. Okay, so it still looks spotty on this page. So I'm just going to, maybe it's just the amount of satin top coat. Maybe I made this a little juicier. Or it could be because this is probably what it is. The pages on the end are really smooth. And the pages on the side here are all rough cut and different. They're not smooth. They're not all the same. See the difference? So I think that's why the coverage in the camera looks spotty, because you're seeing reflection from the light, but in person, it doesn't. So I'm just going to let that be for the moment. Turn it back around. And hopefully I can fix that, because that's going to drive me crazy. Of all places for that to be right on top of his little head. I might have to paint a crown up there. Okay. Yep, that's what it is, Jerry. Oh my goodness, Summer, thanks so much. I was telling everybody earlier when I started that you guys, this is Summer Hammond's on here. I didn't know that she was on here. But I told her I had started a book yesterday, but Summer, when somebody on your page today mentioned about putting the book corners on, I stopped what I was doing immediately and went and dug out these corners that I have, but these are too big for a book, so I'm going to order some tomorrow. But aren't they pretty? I told you guys Summer was doing a book today too. An Easter book. I'm trying to get both corners in here. Let's go. This way. All right, I got paint in the way here. But if you guys aren't following Summer, I highly recommend. She's one of my favorite creators. So you guys, I thank you so much for joining me today. It was really fun having all of you here. And if you haven't liked and followed my page, I would love it if you would do that for me and get me over that 3,000 version of it. So, okay, you guys, thanks so much. See you next week.